ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमय यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, chapter number 5, verse number 6. So it is Sage Chamas who is speaking, and he is replying to the question about the destination of those people who are not worshipping Bhagavan and their minds are not under control and they are full of desire. So where do they reach or what do they attain? So this is the question which is asked. So he replied, as we read, that Bhagavan is the basis. So It is everyone's duty to worship him. And if you don't worship, then you fall down. So now the question comes, if we don't worship, why shall we fall down? Because it is a karma. So there was a school teacher. She gave homework to the students, children, and said that you have to do the homework, and if you don't do the homework, then you will be punished. So next day the children came, and one boy raised the hand. He says, "Ma'am, can I ask you a question?" He said, "Yes, of course." He says, "Can somebody be punished for not doing anything?" And the teacher said, Why should you be punished for not doing anything? You are punished if you do something wrong. If you don't do anything, why should you be punished?" He said, "Okay ma'am, thank you, I didn't do the homework." So this is Sandeep's dilemma, that why a karma is to be punished. So not doing also can be problem. No, not that is just don't do something and then you are being rewarded. The other thing is about this varnashram system, whether it is asuri or deva. So this varnashram system has been created by Bhagavan himself, as he says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Gun Karma Vibhagasha Tasya Kartarapiyam. So it is his plan to organize the society, and this is a very scientific process, although now there is a lot of criticism, and that is because of not understanding it. So when system is not understood properly, then it is also not applied properly or not practiced properly. Then the criticism comes to the system. So this is the big problem. Still there is a lot of talk about varnashram, but what is it? It's not clear to people. And now because of this translation caste system, that this is a caste system, so there is a lot of attack that this is the biggest, what they call as the defect or sin in Hinduism, caste system. No one else has it. But it is not the caste system, it is actually merit system. If you really want to translate varnashram system, then it is meritorial system. Means you do job according to your merit, according to your qualification. That's what it is. And to say that the caste system is only in India and not this, all over the world. You want a job in IT industry, they will check you whether you have qualification or not. You want to be a sports person, you have to have that qualification. So this is the system. So they said that why not we actually, instead of you become grown up, then you try to figure out who am I, and most people never figure it out, and therefore they remain confused for the rest of their life. That's why there is so much job dissatisfaction. So they made a system that you actually recognize your characteristic, train yourself, and then work in that field. So what is wrong with it? So that is the system. But if you misuse it and then you start oppressing or repressing others, that's not what system is saying. System is very balanced, and it is a balance of power. In varnashram system, power was not centered in one place. So kings were ruling, but they were under the control of brahmanas. But brahmanas, they gave the law and king has to execute it. King was not making the law. Now people make the law and then they are the one who are controlling, so they can make law to exploit. If the government wants to raise tax, can people object? We say that it is democracy, means by the people, of the people, for the people. But it is a big illusion. Government makes so many laws which we don't like. They never ask you. But it happens. So why they make? Because they have to rule and they want to see that they remain in power. So they make rules. Or they do things to please people so that they can get vote. But the sages did not need anybody's vote and they didn't want to remain in power. So they made law which was beneficial for the society. And kings have to execute it. And then kings did not control the wealth. Wealth was controlled by the Vaisyas. And even Sudras were more wealthy than Brahmanas, although people say that Sudras. But all the craftsmen, they were all Sudras, whether blacksmith, potter, washerman, weaver. So they are all considered as Sudras. And they are the one who had the wealth, not the Brahmana. But now you hear the Brahmanas wrote the books. Just today somebody sent a small video, one lady speaking very strongly that these Brahmanas, they are the real cruel people. They wrote the books and they kept control of it and they did not allow anyone else to. It's not, this means she doesn't know anything about Varnashram system. But now anyone can talk anything, and you have to put things in a little bit logical manner. You can also have cockroach Janata Party. And you can get 2 million followers. Because different people are having different problems, so you just, magnify something and present it like that. And common people don't have mind to think. So this is the problem. Same is the problem with Devi or Daiva Varnashram. You ask anybody, no one can actually explain this clearly. What is it? And for more than 100 years it has been propagated, but there is no one place where you can say that they are practicing it or they have applied it successfully. I don't know anything. And the reason for that is that no one individual society can apply this. It is impossible. It can be applied only if the government wants to implement it. Otherwise it is not possible, it's just impossible. Because you don't understand what is the system. If you understand, you will know that it cannot be implemented like that. Just like there are Christian countries or Muslim countries, so they implement their Sharia because they are in power. But now in India there are Muslims and they want to implement Sharia, it is not possible. Unless they come in power, which they are trying, then they will bring it. But no matter how much population they have, if they are not in power, you cannot bring it. So if you want to implement Varnashram or Daiva Varnashram, you have to come to power. Then it is only possible. Otherwise, it's only a dream and you keep on talking about it. It will remain a dream. It will never be implemented. So this should be understood. Because it deals with the whole society. You cannot have 200 people or 5,000 people or even 1 lakh people and then implement Varnashram in that. Okay, you can do it somewhere, but then how are you going to survive in the modern society? Unless you go and live on an island, then again it's like you are isolating yourself and having your small kingdom. Then you can do. So unless you have full control over the people where you want to implement, it is not possible. If you are mixing with the society, forget it. For that you have to have, economic independence, So if you are dependent on society, you want donation from people, you want this, then how will you implement? It won't be. So even if you want to make a farm and live, then you have to become self-sufficient. Then you can implement, but you can implement only with the people, and it will be very difficult. How will you have 4 systems of Kshatriyas and Vaishyas? Vaishyas have to do business. Business cannot be done with just like one village, And if you do that, your economy is going to be just very little. So this is what we have to understand. So now in the previous verse he says that even people who are educated in Shastra and they have good birth, if they don't understand this, that we are born from Bhagavan and we have to worship him, then they also remain bewildered, muhyanti, amnaya vadina. So then he says, karmanyako vidastabdha murkha pandit maninaha vadanti chatukan mudha yaya madhavya girotsuka. So he says, karmani akovidaha stabdha murkha pandit maninaha. So he says that karmani akovida, those who are not learned in the principles of karma, and they are very insolent, proud, and therefore foolish. Proud people will be foolish. And Pandit Manina, but they think they are learned. What was called as Gyanlav Durvidagda. So Vadanti Chatukan Mudha Yaya Madhavya Girotsaka. So then they talk flattery words or words of praise to each other. Madhavya Girotsaka. So this is what happens, people praise each other and they remain foolish, mudha. So akovidaha karma yatha bandhakam na bhavati tatha kartum agyaha. So karmani akovida means that they do not know how not to be bound by your karma. So this is what Krishna says, that Gehna Karmano Gati, that it is very difficult to understand what is karma. So they are agya in this field. Nacha abhigyan prichanti. And they do not know it, and then they do not question those who know it. So if I do not know, then I can approach somebody and take knowledge. I can also consult others regarding it. But they don't do that. So therefore he says that abhigyan nacha prichanti. Why is that? Because they are proud, stabdha. So stabdha means anamra. So if I am proud, then I don't want to ask, because if I have to ask, then I have to become humble. So they are not that. And anamra, proud, therefore they remain foolish. Yato murkha. But if I am foolish still, that is not bad, but it is worse when they are Pandit Manina. So I am ignorant, I am foolish, I don't have good intelligence, but I think I am learned. So Pandita Vayam iti Manyamana. Because they have also studied some part of the Vedas, as it says, Apam Somam, Amrita Bhuma, Akshayam, Havai Chaturmasya Yajina, Sukritam Bhavati Yatra Noshnam Nachasitam Syat, Naglani Napya Rataya. So we will drink Somjusa, and will become immortal. And Akshayam, have a Chaturmasya Ajana, will do Chaturmasya type of yajna and will attain heaven, which is imperishable. Sukritam Bhavati. And that place, it is not hot, so you don't need AC. But it is also not cold, so you don't need heater. So it's nice atmosphere. And Naglani, there is no sadness, there is no boredom. And Napiya Rataya, there are no enemies there. So they are very much impressed by these words. Ityadikaya yaya madhavya gira utsukaha santo mudha mayanti. So they are utsuka, they are very eager about these types of statements, and therefore they remain bewildered. तथैव चाटुकान हम हो अप्सरो भी सह विरहि श्यामः इत्यादि प्रियान शब्दान मिथो वदन्ति. And then they speak sweet words to each other and says, we will be enjoying with the apsaras. So this is the great attraction. Only thing is, what is the attraction for the ladies? That is not said. So men will get apsaras or they will get 72 whores in heaven. But what about women? What is their attraction? This is not spoken. There should be something for them also. Otherwise they will not go. They will stay here, then they have to become men. So he says these are the type of statements they speak. So that's why he says it is Rochna Artha Falshruti. It's only to increase interest of the people. So the purpose is not going to heaven, that is the meaning. Rajsa ghor sankalpa kamuka hi manyavaha dambhika manina papa vihasanti achyutak priyan. So those people who are very much influenced by the rajas, what is this? So ghor sankalpa, they take very grave sankalpa, means terrible plans they make. They are kamuka, they are very lusty, and ahimanyava, and they have anger like snakes. So wherever kama is there, krodha is following that. Kama isha, krodha isha. And they are dambhika, they are hypocrites. And manina. And papa. So manina means they want respect. So hypocrite people also want respect. That's why they are hypocrites. And they engage in forbidden activity. And the worst thing they say is that vihasanti achyut priyan. That they make fun of devotees. So they deride, ridicule the devotees. So this is all the people who are not devotees, non-devotees do this. So you can always have experience of these things. So rajasa pravardhanena rajogunena macchatrurayam vriyatamiti dukkhameva prapsyanti achyut ghora sankalpa. So he says that these people, because they are very much under the influence of Rajaguna, so Rajas brings competition. This is one of the characteristics of Rajas. So then anybody who is superior to you, better than you, then he becomes object of your jealousy, your enemy. So he says, this is my enemy, Matshatrurayam. And Mriyatamiti Ghor Sankalpa. So they make plan that how to kill this guy. So that I have killed this and I will kill others. So Mayayam Ato Satru Anisya Chaparanapi. So this is all the plan they make. This is the Ghor Sankalpa. And Pratikshanam Vardhamanena Krodhena Ahivan Manyuriyesham. And therefore their anger, it keeps on increasing. So he says that their anger is just like snake. Snake, little you touch, immediately wants to bite you. So snake is a personification of anger. And then they make fun of the devotees. Ete kast mala bhrito bhikshuka udaram bhara Vishnu maradhya dukkham eva prapshanti iti achyut priyan vyasanti. So he says these devotees, they are having this wooden neck beads and they are only begging food. So they are suffering now and they will suffer in future also. Because they are not doing any karma, any charity, they are dependent on others. And if you depend on others, there is only suffering. So, you want to be happy, you have to be independent. Paradhin sapnehu sukh nahi. Tulsidas Maharaj also said that if you are paradhin, if you are dependent on others, you cannot be happy even in your dreams. So he says, therefore these bhikshus, these Vaishnavas, they will only get more trouble. So in this way they make fun of the devotees. Vadanti te anyonyam upasita striyo grihesu maithunya paresu chashishah yajanti asrishtanna vidhana dakshinam vrityai param gnanti pashuna tadvidaha. And it says, Vadanti te anyonyam upasita striyo grihesu maithunya paresu chashishah. So they give knowledge to each other, vadanti te anyonyam, educate others, and upasita striya, they worship women, and grihesu maithunya paresu cha ashisha, they remain engaged in the household family, enjoying sex life. And yajanti asrishtana vidhana dakshina. So they worship or they do yajna, but without distributing any food or not doing it according to the vidhi, not giving dakshina, and vritte param ghananti pashun, and for their livelihood they kill animals. So this is their life. So upasita striyo yuvataya eva na tumhanta. So they worship women because they want to enjoy them, and that also yuvati, young women, and not great saintly people. Natu vruddhopsevina. So that is not what they do. Yaite srakchandana vanitadi sampadika sampatyo bhavanti. So they have the wealth in the form of, by which olden times same garland, chandan, women, srakchandan, vanita, these three things. So they try to earn wealth for that. Anyonyam ashisho vadanti, and they give blessings to each other. Maithunya sukhameva param yeshu teshu, and they do not know any other pleasure than sex pleasure. This is the highest for them. Grihesu na shrishta na sampadita anna annadi dan vidhan dakshana yatra tatra yatha syate janti. So they do yajna in which there is no distribution of food. So yajna is dan, puja, sangati karan. So in yajna there is charity is given, puja is done, association with saintly people. These are all parts of yajna. So they do not do that. As Krishna says, vidhihinam, asrishtanam, mantrahinam adakshinam, shraddhavirhitam yajnam tamsam parichakshate. So this is the tamas yajna. Even rajas yajna, you have to do it with vidhi. Because tamasic people phalamudishte puna, that they do it to attain some result, so they have to do it according to the prescribed process, then only they will get the result. But this tamasic is vidhihinam, that they don't follow the vidhi, that's why they are tamas. And asrishtanam, no food is distributed. Mantrahinam, no proper chanting of mantra. And adakshinam, no dakshina is given. Shraddha virahitam yajnam tamasam parichakshate. And there is no shraddha. So shraddhya hutam dattam tapas tattam kritam chet asatitya uchyate partha. So it's all called asat if it is done with a shraddha. Shraddha is the basis of every religious process. If Shraddha is not there, then first of all he will not do it properly. So then he says, Vrityai jivikartham kevalam pashun chagadin ghnanti. And for their livelihood they kill animals such as goats, etc. Atadvida hinsa dosha anabhigya. Not knowing that this is going to bring them a lot of suffering in future, because if you cause pain to others, then you will also get the pain. Then he says, Shriya vibhritya vijanena vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jatasmena andhadhiya saheshwaran sato avamanyanti haripriyan khalaha. So these khalas, wicked people, are further described. So this is all asurik pravritti. This asurik nature is being described in this. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj says that Kuto Mahad Guna. Those vimukha, where is the good qualities in them? Because they are attached to their bodies. So he says that they are very proud because of their wealth, their power, their high birth, knowledge, or they may give some charitable deed, tyagena, of their beauty, physical strength, or karma here means some Vedic activity they may perform. Jatasmayena andhadhiya. So all this thing is increasing their pride. So in the material world, these are the various causes for which people become proud, by wealth, beauty, power, high birth, education, physical strength. So this all increases one's ahankara. These are the food for ahankara. And then when they are proud, what is the outcome of pride? Insulting others. Those people who are proud, they invariably will insult others. That is the natural characteristic of pride. So therefore he says, Jatasmayena andhadhiya, they are blinded. So blinded means that they cannot see the good qualities in others. And because of that he says, Sato amanyanti haripriyan khala. That they disrespect not only saintly people but also Bhagavan, Saheshwaran. So they insult the saintly people, the devotees, and also the worshipable of the devotees. This is their characteristic. So Adhyo Vijanvanasmi Konyasti Sadrishamaya Yakshe Dasyami Modisha Ityagyan Vimohita. So this is the part of Asurik Pravritti. I am rich, Adhya, Abhijanvan, I have high birth, I have good family members. And there is nobody like me. So this is the meaning of ahankar, pride. I am better than others. So they remain bewildered by this jnana. So Shriya means dhanadi sampatya. So Shri, as we said, can have meaning as beauty or it can mean wealth. So here it means wealth because beauty is mentioned separately as Rupena. And Vibhutya Aishwaryena. Vibhuti means Aishwarya, power. Aishwarya means that we have power to control others. That's what Aishwarya means. Sataha sadhun avmanyante. So they disrespect sadhus. This is their natural characteristic.
In this verse means to by the birth of, because of Shriya and Vibhuti. The word Abhijanen, Shriya Vibhutya Abhijanen Vidya Tyagen Rupen Balen. So Abhijanen means
by high birth.
Okay, by high birth. And another question, Babaji, this Jat Smayan Andadiya, here Smaya is used in the sense of Garva.
Yeah.
So sometimes it also comes in the sense of smile, just like Tasam Avir Bhuchari Smaya Mana Mukambuja. So it is used in both the senses?
Yeah. Because when you are proud, then also you smile. Right? Pride people smile at others. That's what he was saying, Vyasanti. They make fun of others.
Okay, so it is that Garvali smile.
Not necessarily, I'm just linking them why it means.
Okay.
Sarveshu sasvattanubhritsu avastitam yatha kamatmanam abhishtam ishwaram vedopugitam chan shinvante abudha manorathanam pravadanti vartaya. Sarveshu shashvat tanubhritsu avasthitam. So sarveshu shashvat bhritsu avasthitam yatha. So Ishwaram is situated in everybody. Sarveshu shashvat tanushu avasthitam. Yatha kham atmanam abhishtam ishwaram. Just like the sky. And Vedop Gitam Chanashinvate Abudha. So although he is present in everyone and he is described in the Vedas, but they don't hear that. And Manorathanam Pravadanti Vartaya. But they take the meaning of the Vedas only in the sense of getting wealth, power, position, bhogvilas. So this is their varta, this is what they talk. So pravadanti means they speak, or this is the meaning they give to these manorathanam, they speak only of their manoratha. Dridtaram prabodhyamana pite naiv prabodhyante. Ityaha sarvesham. So he says, even if you try to teach them, it is not possible to teach them. That is being described here. Yathakham akasham tvachangatvam abhishtam vyaradyam. What is this? Kham akasam. Tvachangatvam. This akasham, there is a matra on akasham. Why is smallly doing here? Tvachangatvam.
Actually, I have asangatam. Yathakham asangatam.
Okay, it should be asangatam. Yes, that makes sense. Tvachangatam. So yatha akasham iti asangatam. That's what it should be. Means just like akasha is there everywhere, but it is not touching anything. Like that Ishvara is there everywhere, but he is not attached to anything. That is the example. Anabhishtam adhivyaradhyatvam.
We just have the aradhya.
Yes. So abhishtam means aradhyatvam, that he is worshipable. Ishwaram iti anaradhane sati dandadatritvam. And he is Ishvara, which means that if you don't worship him, then he will punish you. So this is the karma. Anaradhane. That's what it says. Na bhajanti avjananti sthanat bhrashta patanti ade. Then Vedopgitam chaiti sarvatha vikhyatattvam cha uktam. So Vedopgitam means that he is described everywhere. Vedaischa savairahame vedya. But they don't listen to that. Na shinvate iti kena prakarena iti yataha. So why is that they do not listen? Because manorathena मनोरथानाम व्यवायम यशादि विषयाणाम वार्तयति भगवता कथायाम सद्भि प्रवृत्तायाम अपि तत्र विषय भोग वार्ताम बलात् पातयन्ति. So even if they hear katha from saintly people, they only take the meaning which is related with their manoratha, which is vishaya bhog, sense enjoyment. That's the meaning they bring out. So he says, Vishaya Bhogavartam Balat Patiyanti. So somehow they bring out that meaning. And Pravadanti Tadasvameva Prakarshena Vaktaro Bhavanti. And then they also start giving their own explanation, just like these days you see a lot of YouTubers are there. So many people are giving pravachan now. So this is the Pravadanti. Now the next sloka is very important, and there is a long explanation of it because this deals with Purmimansa. There is some basic understanding of Purmimansa is needed to understand this sloka, but it is very important. From this you will understand some idea how Shastra works, which was said there that Parokshvado Vedoyam Balanam Anushāsanam. So Karma Moksha Karmani Vidhattehi Agado Yatha. So it tells you to engage in karma, but its purpose is to make you free from karma. So that idea is given in this sloka. So read it. So it says, Loke vivayam ismadya seva nityastu jantor nahi tatra chodana vyavastitisteshu vivaha yagya suragrahira sunivrittirishta. So he says that in the world, people have natural attraction for sex, eating meat, drinking wine. And therefore there is no need to make an injunction for that. Then why is that in the Shastra you see sometimes there are yagyas where killing is mentioned, all that. So he says that vyavasthitis teshu vivaha yagya suragrahi rasu. So he says to restrict these things, the Vedas prescribe marriage, yagya, and suragraha, taking of wine, that is also part of yagya. But asu nivritti reshta. But the purpose of all these things is not that you enjoy sex life or you drink or you eat meat, but how you become free from this. So this very important principle which is described here, because this question comes many times that in the Vedas there are yagyas which talk about killing animals, animal sacrifice, horse sacrifice, Aswamedh yagya. Then people are saying that Pandavas ate meat and Lord Ramchandra also ate meat and so on. And these types of statements you hear. So it is true there are statements about sacrifice. But what is the intention of that? So one of the very important statement which we also studied in in the Vedanta, that the Shastra is Agyat Artha Gyapaka. That Shastra teaches you that which is not known to you. That means it doesn't tell you to do something which you already know, or it doesn't ask you to do something which you are already doing. Because that will be foolish to tell you to do something which you are already doing. So therefore something which is available, that which is ragata prapta. Ragata means natural liking. Means you are a Raganuga Bhakta. So the Raganuga Bhakta does not need vidhi. That's why there are two types of bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So vidhi is not for something which is liked by people naturally. So people naturally are attracted to sexual enjoyment. So therefore Shastra does not have to tell you that marry. You'll do it yourself. If Shastra does not tell to marry, then millions of people who are not following Shastra, they get married or they live together. Animals also. So there is no need for Shastra to give you injunction that you should marry. So then why there is marriage, vivaha samskar? So that's why it says vyavasthitis teshu. So this is actually to make you free from sex. That is vidhi. So there are three types of vidhi. This whole Purvamimamsa is about vidhi only. So there the very fundamental principle of Purvamimamsa, and Purvamimamsa you can truly say that of course Purvamimamsa sutras are not talking about any ritual or anything. But any, what you call as religion is all do's and do nots, right? Commandment. So Purvamimamsa says that athato dharma jigyasa, that now we will deliberate on dharma. And what is dharma? He says chodana lakshano artho dharma. So he says dharma is a commandment. Chodana means commandment, vidhi. That's what dharma is. It gives you instruction, do this and don't do this. So there are three types of vidhi. There are many types of vidhi. There is adhikar vidhi, apurva vidhi. So we will talk about three types of vidhi. This is important to understand if you want to really understand this verse. So there are three types of vidhi. One is called apurva vidhi. Another is called niyam vidhi. Third is called parisankhya vidhi. So apurva vidhi, apurva, as you know, the word apurva means something which was not before, means anyatra prapta apurva vidhi, which is not known from anything else. That is called apurva vidhi. It means it is telling you that do this. Swarga kamo yajet. That if you want to go to heaven, you do yajna. So this is not known by any other pramana. Apurva means pramanantarena nala prapta, na prapyate, which is not known by any other pramana, pratyaks pramana, anuman pramana. You cannot know that by doing yajna you will go to heaven. No, there is no way to know it except from Shastra. So this is called apurva vidhi. And then there is niyam vidhi. So niyam vidhi is when there is a vikalpa, that you can do something in different ways. So then it restricts you to do it in one particular way. So like vrihin avhanti. That vrihi means rice. So rice is used to make purodas, type of paste which is used to do the yajna. But to do that paste you need rice. But rice comes in the form of paddy. It has got a cover on top of it. Right? So that has to be removed. So you can remove that in different ways. You can beat it and remove it. You can also take each one and remove it with by hand. Or you may have machine these days. So he says vrihin avhanti, that you have to only remove it by beating. So it is limiting you. Means you should not, so it is telling you not to do it other way. So this is called niyam vidhi. Then there is parisankhya vidhi. Parisankhya vidhi is when something is available to you because you like, means ragata prapta. So first is aprapta, it is not prapta, it is not available to you, non-known to you, that is apurva. The other one, there is a vikalpa, option. Suppose it only said that make paste with rice. Then you will, okay, I can beat it, I can do this. It's known to you. So it limits you that. And then the third is when it is naturally available to you. Means you can do it naturally. No one has to tell you to do it. So then it gives you parisankhya. And parisankhya, the purpose of parisankhya is actually not to do it, but not to do it. Not. Means to avoid it. So it says, the famous example is Panchanakha Bhaksha Kshatra Viprakshatrena Raghava. And then sloka Sasaka Godha Khadagi. So that you can eat meat of the 5 animals which have 5 nails. Like Sasaka, Godha, Khadagi. So there it looks like that Shastra is giving you injunction to eat meat of the 5 animals. So this is where the study is done, that actually that is not the intention of the Shastra. Because why should it ask you to do it when you can eat meat anyway? So you can eat meat of anything because people have liking or because of association. So then it is telling eat only of these 5. So the purpose there, the meaning of this vidhi is in nishedha, that don't eat meat. So this is difficult to understand. People don't understand and they think, look, Shastra is saying I can eat meat. No. You have to see what kind of injunction it is. Is it apurva vidhi? Is it niyam vidhi? It is parisankhya vidhi. So pari and sankhya. Pari means varjane. There is actually Panini Sutra, pari varjane. Pari means to give up. And sankhya means knowledge. So parisankhya vidhi is giving you knowledge of giving it up. So that's why the sutra says that lok vyavasthiti resu vivaha yagya suragrahi, that so first they do sankocha. They limit you. And then the purpose of that limiting is nivritti, that you give it up. So for example, somebody is very much addicted to smoking. So he loves smoking. So you tell him, he becomes devotee, then you say, stop smoking. So now either he will leave you or he will have difficulty or he will smoke without telling you. He will do something. So another way to wean him away from smoking is that you say, well, smoking, yeah, it's nice, you can smoke, no problem. But smoke only on Brahma Muhurta and Sandhya Arati time. So you restrict him. That you can smoke, I am not saying. But you should smoke only this brand of the cigarette and not others. And only at this time, at 3 Sandhya. Morning, noon, and evening. So you are restricting him, but actually your purpose is you are not interested in him smoking. Although you are telling him that only smoke at these times. But what is your intention? That you want him to give up smoking. And gradually you will tell him that okay, now do it only one Sandhya time. And then you say, now you do it once a week, every Ekadashi. And then you ask him to stop. So this is called parisankhya. And this is the most misunderstood vidhi of the Vedas.
Niyama and parisankhya, I am not understanding really difference, because niyama is also restricting.
Niyama is not ragta prapta. It is not naturally.
But it is, so niyama is also anyatra prapta.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
anyatra, in Shastra only. Niyama is also Because to make Purodas is not known by anything else. It is Shastra Prapta, but Vikalpa is there.
Okay, so it is...
It is an action which is also known from Shastra, but you can do it in different ways. So then it restricts you to do in one particular way.
So just the action, all three we are talking about the action only still. So in Niyama the action is known by Shastra, but many options. In Parisankhya, you don't need Shastra to know, also many options, but you restrict it to... Same Niyama and Parisankhya, only difference is Ragata Prapta is Parisankhya.
Parisankhya is that which is available by Raga.
Okay.
And the rule of the Shastra is because Shastra is Agyat Gyapaka. That's where this rule comes. That Shastra is telling you something which is not known to you. So therefore Shastra is not going to teach you eat meat of 5 animals. Because this you already know. So that's why, since Shastra cannot teach you something which you will do naturally, that means the purpose of Parisankhya is in stopping. That's why this meaning comes. Otherwise one can say, well, Shastra is teaching this. So why are you saying that I should not eat this? So there is a little longer commentary on this. We'll read that tomorrow. Actually, Vansidhar has written like 4 or 5 pages on this. If you really want to go in big details. Yeah. But Vishnu Chakravarti has also written at least more than half a page. Anyway, this will give you some idea on this vidhis, which is very important to know. Tanmaji.
There was a concept of punishment mentioned today, that Ishvara punishes if he is disrespected. I remember there was a discussion in Paramatma Sandarbha about this point, that Bhagavan punishes, and then the problem arises that means he must be under the gunas, because he is acting partially and not impartial to people, so Vaishamya, Naigrahanya. And then the resolution there was that when Bhagavan acts, his punishment is also beneficial, that he benefits the people he punishes, because he is Medaladini Shakti, and if his, all his actions are like that. And then Sri Jiva Goswami basically examined cases like Putana or even the Asuras he kills. So I'm just wondering about this punishment concept that we discussed.
No, punishment does not mean that he is coming personally to punish you. Just a rule, he has a dharma, and then there is Yamaraj who gives you the result of your dharma or adharma. He is not doing it personally, but he has made a law, and the law is also to benefit us, as we are saying, that all these rules are also for karmokshay karmani vidhatte hi agdoyatha. So it is also for our benefit. Personally he comes only when he is in the avatar form, then he may punish. Otherwise he is not punishing like that.
So strictly speaking, it's just we are eating the results of our karma.
Yeah, just like you say the government punishes, the income tax department will not leave you, they will punish you. But does it really income tax department who punishes? No. You will go to the court, it is court which will give the judgment. They will file a case against you.
Thank you.
Babaji, I was just wondering because in Jayamangala Tika for Kama Sutra, when this Dharmartha Kamebhyo Namaha he will get in the starting, there he will mention that he will start this discussion, why is such a grantha necessary when it is Ragata Prapta? And then in the Tika he will mention because it will increase the pleasure of the person if he does it according to the injunction of Dharma. So this is not something that Purvamimamsa agrees to, then we should take it that way.
No, but in the end, what does he say in the end?
There he will exclude moksha itself, he'll say because the only brahmanas desire, the four varnas don't desire. So it is not something that is sought after by everybody. So within dharma, artha and kama is considered superior, and he will give.
Yeah, but its purpose is also to be free from it.
Okay.
That's why he writes in the end that I am writing and I am a brahmachari.
What's that?
Otherwise he should be enjoying himself.
Okay. Okay, so it is. So we should more take it in a sense that doing dharmically will grant more pleasure, but if you are attached to that pleasure, then that defeats the purpose of the injunction.
Yeah, because there also you are going to face a lot of problems. First of all, the way he is describing and the qualification to enjoy like that, how many people have that?
Okay.
So even this Kama Sutra is not for everybody.
Correct.
It's like Ras Shastra is for Samajikas, it's also not for everybody.
Okay. We have a question from here. Leela Rani ji is asking, could you please explain what becomes of those who appear to be practicing bhakti while simultaneously engaging in non-dharmic behavior, particularly in regards to interactions with the opposite sex?
So what happens means what? You see, the thing is that every path is different. The path of karma is different, path of bhakti is different, and path of Jnana Marg is different. So when it comes to bhakti, then this idea of karma, vikarma, karma does not apply. Dharma, dharma. Then what applies is aparadha. So then aparadha is which is going to stop you from attaining your goal, and you will suffer because of the offense. So when one actually takes to bhakti in the proper sense, because that also we have to understand whether one is really doing bhakti or not. There is a requirement for everything. So once you come to the path of bhakti, then it is true that you are not under the preview of karma. But that does not mean that you can do anything now. No, now that will cause aparadha. And aparadha can have more harm than karma. So on one side you are trying to get bhakti, on the other side you do aparadha, so it will go against that. That is the first outcome. And second is that this will also bring suffering, like bad karma.
Babaji, is there any example of Parisankhya Vidhi? I mean, there must be so many, but could you give one example?
Example will come tomorrow. He will give example in the example of this Panchanakha Bhaksha only.